So we're at the place right now in our presentation that I want to introduce you to our keynote speaker. Cynthia Zhai is a professional speaker, a voice coach, a TEDx speaker, and an author. And over the last 21 years, her engagement with audience spans 21 countries and 5 continents. She has definitely connected with a bunch of people. She was awarded one of the highest designations in the speaking industry, the CSP, the Certified Speaking Professional. And this is only earned up by 12% of speakers worldwide. And she was the first woman in Singapore to be accredited by the International Enneagram Association. So let's sit back and get ready to take notes on how to listen to the wisdom of your voice for personal and spiritual growth. Welcome, Cynthia. You have the stage.
Thank you, Sue. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place, it was brighter than tomorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make little space, make a better space. Heal the world, make it better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make better place for you and for me. Good morning, everyone. So for the song just now I performed, can you tell there were 2 types of voices? So if you can tell there are 2 types of voices, you have hope. Because the speaking voice is similar to the singing voice, you will be able to tell the difference. So in the beginning, it was a little bit more tender voice. And then after that, from the middle, it was a stronger, more grounded voice. So if you are able to tell the difference, then you will also, with practice, you will also be able to tell the difference and the differences in the speaking voice. So today in the session, in the next 15 minutes, we will move along fast. You would be able to hear the characteristics of different voices. So for my work as a voice coach for the past 14 years, my passion with Enneagram started much earlier than my work as a voice coach. So I started to learn and practice Enneagram since 2008. So that was about 15 years ago. So as an entrepreneur focusing on voice for about 14 years. And because of my passion on both voice and Enneagram, so in my work as a voice coach, I started to notice there are people who come to me with very similar voice challenges, similar experiences that made them have the voice challenge. And then as I started to work with them more, I realized, okay, they are this type. So then also, not only they have similar voice challenges, but also in the voice work, I realized that there are different types. They need to approach the voice work differently. For example, for the head types, it's very challenging for them to get into the body because voice is physical work. Voice requires you to be very attuned to the body. Well, for the head types, for most of my clients, you will have some challenge. And then there are also types who learn voice work much faster. So then I realized I need every client of mine do an Enneagram test first. So then it will help them. It will also help me to know what's the best way to coach them. So then that's where I started to use more and more Enneagram in my work. And my sharing today is based on my work with hundreds of clients. So of course, in different Enneagram conferences that I presented, there will always be people asking me, Cynthia, what are the researches? Then of course, to joke with them, I said, "Are you a head type?" 10 out of 10 they are. I said, it would be good if you can help me as well, because as a non-head type, so my work so far is based on the clients, based on the real life examples. And also because the more I do the work, the more in depth it goes. So that's why that today we would not be able to go in depth. So we will be focusing very quickly on the key characteristics of the general types. So average types, we will not be able to talk about the subtypes, the instincts, the different development levels, also the wings, because when all these come into play, the voice will be different as well. So that's why it's not that, okay, now I know, okay, type A talks in this way. Then you would go and listen to the types and say that you must be which type. So we all know that typing is not that easy. But voice can play a very critical role when you couldn't decide the type, because voice reflects everything about us, everything. So it reflects our past, our present, and our potential. It reflects what kind of challenges we have been through or what we are going through. So voice reflects everything about us. And of course, most of the times when I talk about that, no one wants to talk to me anymore. They said, "No, you're going to know everything about me." I said, "Okay, looks like you're not ready to develop yourself yet." So the other thing about developing voice or developing ourselves is that to develop authenticity, right? So when you're authentic, you don't care whether people know anything about you. So for me, most of the times, I always tell them that you can know everything about me. If you don't know everything about me, I will tell you. So once you become authentic, you won't care that how much people can tell from your voice or from other areas. So that's a kind of a background to set for you. Then no, this is not to, okay, now I learned the voice, I'm going to type that. We are all a work in progress. And so we are going to quickly go through the types now. And first of all, we don't want to, so what is it that we listen to the voice? The key thing we listen to the voice is the texture. The texture is something that's very invisible, intangible, but something that once you are trained, you're able to tell. Just like in the song I demonstrated, right? So there are two types of voices. One is the voice which is very tender. The other one is more grounded. They're actually telling you the two different centers already. So the key is the texture. Texture is like the material we're wearing, right? It could be silk. Silk is a type of texture, or it could be linen, different type of texture. Or it could be polyester. So if we use analogy, these are actually three different centers. So we're going to take a look. So it's not pitch, pace, volume we're listening, because once we are developed, everyone can have a stronger volume. Everyone can have a deeper pitch. For nines, we can also speak fast. So it's not always type 3 or type 8 speaks fast, or type 7. So that's why we don't listen to those. Instead, we listen to the texture. Okay, so as you can see, there are three centers. And then each center, they have their voice commonalities. For example, for 891, we have the groundedness. Like the second half of the song I was demonstrating is very grounded. There's some weight in the voice. So I would describe the 891 as if we use a type of material, clothing material, it could be linen. Could also would be linen. Linen will be more appropriate. And then the 231 is the tenderness in the voice. It could be silk. And then 5, 6, 7 is this disconnectedness, which is the voice is in here. in the head, disconnected from the body. If I were to use a material, it will be polyester. Polyester. Okay, so that's your, give you a quick view. If you want to do a screenshot, you can quickly do a screenshot because this slide will be gone very soon. Okay, so I assume you have done the screenshot. Okay, so then we're coming back. Time for you to take notes if you want. And if you rather want to listen, you can always watch the recording. Or whatever resonates with you, you can write down some keywords. So we go to 8. 8. So I do have a more detailed write-up. I will share with the committee, and then they can share with you. So for type 8, the voice that I always give it a name as the explosive voice. Explosive voice. So the explosive voice is coming from the 8th passion, because 8th passion, we know, is lust, right? Lust, excessiveness. So this excessiveness is also reflected in the voice. So there is one thing you want to know about voice is powered by the breath. Voice is powered by the breath. So when 8s are speaking, there's a lot of breath going out. So this explosive use of air, so overused air, excessive amount of air. So it is showing up in the voice. And we are going to do a quick exercise. For example, the sentence we're going to try is, how can you do that? So for 9, it probably, how can you do that? Makes no difference. No one is taking it serious. So for 8, it will be explosive. It'll be, how can you do that? So it doesn't have to be high pitched, but you see that just now the pitch was not high, but it was a lot of air being used. If you have tissue paper near you, you can try it. For example, 8 will be, how can you do that? So this one is going up. If it's a 9 or even a 5 sometimes, how can you do that? Not moving much. So that's the type 8, explosive use of air. Remember the excessiveness. So that is the key. But you see, when you're doing that, it actually pushes people away, which in a way, type 8s unconsciously are also using voice to build a wall against themselves, so that no one can come into my fortress. Don't dare come near me. There is this. So that's why when they're speaking, people feel terrified. So that's the key thing for type 8. And then, of course, some other common problems that they come to me with would be, they always say that, oh, who and who said that I sound aggressive. So the sounding aggressive is one of the common problems that they received, or to them, one of the complaints they received. And then, of course, they will always say, I have no problem projecting my voice. Type 8, they don't have problems projecting their voice. They also don't have a voice that's monotone. Type 8 will never speak with a voice that's monotone. They have emotions. Okay, so these are some issues, of course, that speaking fast, if they have not developed, speaking fast could also be one of the common issues. And then how do we help 8? So before we help 8, let's all have you try. So we break your pattern, your state first. We do that by doing a quick sigh. So once you finish sigh, then if you want to use the tissue paper, you can use it. Then we're going to use the type 8 way to say the sentence. How can you do that? Remember, it doesn't have to be pitch, just more breath. How can you do that? Okay, very good. Okay, so for those of you who are trying, don't you feel very tiring? It's very tiring, right? Imagine that someone is speaking in this way all the time. So it's a lot of energy, unnecessary energy being lost. But this is something very good for type 9 to try. So if you are a type who is not very assertive, you want to do what 8s are doing, which is you want to use a little bit more breath. For example, for type 9s, even 2s, 5, you can all use more breath when you're speaking. Purposely lose more breath. So that is for type 8 and for some other types who need to borrow some energy from type 8. So how do we help 8s? It's also very easy, sounds easy, which is that use less breath. Use less breath. So we know that their virtual is innocence, right? So it's that when you use less breath, you are taking away all those walls that you build around yourself. Okay, so that is a quick summary on type 8. So whatever question you have, you can type into the chat, and then at the end we'll answer them. Okay, so that's for type 8. Because type 8 and 1, sometimes people tend to get confused. But from voice, you will not. So how would type 1 say the same thing? So just now we said type 8 is, how can you do that? See, I'm angry and you see it, right? I don't do any effort to try to hide my anger. I'm angry and I want you to know it. So that's type 8. But type 1 will not say it in that way. Type 1's way would be, how can you do that? What kind of impact and impression do you have on that? It's very different, right? So that's why type 1's voice, I call it forceful voice. Forceful. And the anger is not blowing out. It is contained. Even though it's not explosive, but you can still feel it. It's even scary, right? How can you do that? I'm already containing my anger. So that's for type 1. Forceful voice. The force is not going out. It's going in. That's why type 1s tend to have a lot of physical problems. Type 1s, all the problems are in the body. You will have a lot of physical issues. So sometimes my type 1 clients are talking. I said, you know, even though you're talking, I feel you are caging yourself. So I said, if only you could uncage yourself. Because when you're caging yourself, I feel there will be a lot of physical problems. And of course, most of the times they will start to share with me. Yes, they do have physical issues. So let's try the type 1's way of speaking. So take again, so relax. Then you take a breath. Type 8 was, how can you do that? Type 1 is, how can you do that? Feel the difference. Okay, what's the difference? Type into the chat. Let me see what difference you felt. So that's why you see that sometimes people say type 1's voice sounds very fierce. Okay, causes you to distance. Yes. Very good. So yes. So you see that type 1's problems, voice problems, they come to me with would be, they said, they always say that sound very forceful, sound harsh, sound fierce, or even look fierce, right? Because when you're saying things in that way, your look will be fierce as well. Yes, harsh. Yes. So then, of course, if it's very high pitched, for both 1 and 8, you will be not having a very good impact. How can you do that? Or how can you do that? The pitch can be very high. if the pitch is very high, the impact is going to be not very positive. So one example, for example, Harrison Ford, just by his looks, right? You see, it's fierce already. Then plus his voice, you really hear the contained force in his voice. Okay, so that's some of the problems they come to me with. Of course, the other problem is that they can be monotone. Type 1s can be monotone as well. The other issue is it's very difficult for them to relax. So we'll always have to work on relaxation for type 1s. Of course, now because of stress, it's almost every type, but type 1 is something that I have to reinforce over and over again to type 1s. So to relax the body. Yes, type 1 monotone, yes, can be scary. Okay, so type 1s, to relax is very important. You see, when you have to let the breath come out. When you let the breath come out, you are also letting go. So for type 1s, you really need to learn how to let go. Let go of the holding, let go of the containing, let go. Let go of your standards. Let go of the judgment. So the key word for type 1 is to let go. But on another hand, I like to work with type 1 clients because they are very disciplined. I never need to tell them. They just go back and do it. Because for type 1s, if they're not evolved enough yet, type 1s learn something can be very slow. For type 1s, when they learn something new, it can be slow because they have a fixed structure in the head, right? They use this structure to learn new things. So that's why for my type 1 clients, they can be very slow in the session. The next session, when they come back, they always get it. So I never need to worry about it because they are very disciplined. So that's for our lovely type 1s. Then type 9. Type 9, the voice, I call it disengaged voice. Disengaged. So a disengaged voice. The passion, we know is sloth. Sloth. I like Russ Hudson, his explanation on the sloth, which I resonated a lot. So type 9 is more disengaging from life. So which was so true when I was learning with Russ about 9, because before that, me as a 9, I'm a 9. As a 9, I don't really resonate very well with a lot of teaching on 9s. But when he started to talk about 9, I started to resonate, because when I observed my life before I got a hit on my head, got awakened, I realized that was how I lived my life, was that I was tiptoeing around life. This is life. I'm living my life around here. I don't want to get into life. I don't want to fully engaged. Because once I fully engaged, there will be so much mess, so much trouble, so much conflict, so much I can't handle it. So I'd better just tip my toe around life. And that is going to be showing up in your voice. Showing up in the voice that sounds very disengaged, very disassociated. So that's why 9's voice is monotone. It's monotone. And also when you listen to 9's voice, people tend to confuse 9 and 2. When you listen to the voice, it will be different. So for example, for 9, we greet you will be say, hi. Hi. And then for 2 is hi. Coming to your face, almost trying to hug you. And then, so that's disengaged and trying to come to you. So you listen to the voice, 9's voice are very disengaged. That's why, from another point of view, 9's voice sounds very calm all the time. So that's a nice voice characteristic, disengaged. And then, of course, as a result, it can be sometimes people may feel that you sound cold. And then also monotone, we mentioned monotone. But of course, on the high side is that type 9s, people always feel that they sound very calm. That's actually a quality people still say to me today, saying that, Cynthia, you sound calm. Even though there are times I don't feel calm. But my awakening was actually through voice. When I started to learn how to use voice to engage with life, which was that because for voice, one is we work on the texture. The other one, we work on the emotion of the voice so that your voice is going to be more expressive. So when I started to learn how to use my voice to express different emotions, then I realized, oh my God, how come that no one has ever told me there's another world? The world that's full of expressiveness, full of emotion, that's so beautiful. And that actually helps me to learn how to engage with life more. And when I started to practice that, I became more engaged. And my voice became more colorful. I performed singing when I was young. And also my singing started to touch more hearts. So if you work with a 9 or even a 5, or for head types, you want to also to coach them how to use their voice to express emotions. That's where they started to engage with life more. So that's some advice for 9s. And also, of course, the common problems for 9s to come to me with is the voice is soft, the voice is drifting off, the voice is not assertive. Those are all the common problems. So for me, for example, one of the things that I use the voice to work on assertiveness is the ending of my sentence. So number one, the ending of my sentence will not drift off. So if you are drifting off, then of course you're not assertive. So the voice is not drifting off, it's consistent. The other one is the ending goes down. So instead of, my name is Cynthia, I'm a voice coach. We'll go down, my name is Cynthia, I'm a voice coach. So that's some quick tips for 9s. Also can be for other types who are not assertive as well. The ending of the sentence needs to go down. Okay, so that's our type 9s. And for the body center, I wrote a prayer for the body centers. But this will actually help all of us because we can all have characteristics of different centers as well. So let's do a quick prayer. So again, we do a sigh, and then you can close your eyes. It's a very short one. Dear God, or dear universe, please guide me to release myself from my reactions. May I be led to respond from compassion toward others and myself. Amen. So that's a prayer for our 891. Okay, so we are going to quickly go to 2, 3, 4. Okay. So type 2, the voice, the name I gave is proud voice. A proud voice comes from the passion, pride. Okay. So type 2s, when they come to me, the voice problems that they often have is, number one, of course, is soft. So soft is actually a common issue for all 2, 3, 4s. All 2, 3, 4 can have a soft voice. So you see, this is also very interesting. So for the 891, the voice is really kind of coming from the gut area. The voice is here. Now our voice is moving up, moving to the heart now. So for 2, 3, 4's voice is kind of like this. Now you hear a little bit difference, right? Yeah, so it's a little bit softer or more tender. So it's from there, from the heart center. And then, of course, just now I mentioned when it comes to head voice, which is the 5, 6, 7, it goes to the head. So that's 2, 3, 4 commonality, which is soft. They have the challenge to project a stronger voice. Most of times they may end up shouting. And then for 2, the voice is going outward because their focus is outward, right? So it's on what other people are, their needs are. So for 2's voice, the pride comes from, for example, just now I mentioned that, for example, I do introduction, right? I say, my name is Cynthia, I'm a voice coach. If the voice is having pride, it'll be going like this. My name is Cynthia, I'm a voice coach. How is it different? What is it that you feel is different? Okay, one more time. My name is Cynthia. I'm a voice coach. So that's the okay, sings higher tone, up and down. Okay. So again, it is the ending. It's like the voice is like going like this. Flying out, flying to you. It's not grounded anymore. It's like, my name is Cynthia, flying to you. Then you see, because the voice I'm speaking in, my expression, facial expression automatically changed. It's like, my name is Cynthia, I'm a voice coach. I'm just like giving you a rolling eye. When it's more grounded, you'll be different. So that's the pride. The pride is in the way you're speaking is like going flying. Okay, so if you want to try, you can try it. Introduce yourself and then go flying. So that's the pride, pride in the voice. And then, of course, for 2's fixation, it is also shown in the voice. You see, everything about the type is showing up in the voice. What is 2's fixation? Pleasing, right? So pleasing is also in the voice. My younger sister is a 2. So pleasing, actually, I demonstrated just now, but just didn't say it's pleasing. So for example, for 9s, we say hi. We'll just greet you, hi. For 2 is hi. It's the pleasing tone, And then 2s can always find some compliment on you. I remember there was one time I was just wearing a random t-shirt. My younger sister said, wow, what a t-shirt. I said, just a t-shirt. So they find everything amazing. And then, so that's our lovely 2s. And then, of course, you see for 2s, how do we develop? It's to be grounded, grounded in who you are. Grounded in who you are, knowing that who you are is loved. So that's 2. So that's why, how do we develop? It's going in and down, in and down. How do we do that? By using the breath, by developing the voice, going down a little bit more. Instead of just coming from the body from here, we go down a little bit more. So that's how we develop the voice. 2, 3, 4s, they don't have problems expressing emotions, especially 2 and 4. They won't have monotone. all three of them, they don't have monotone problem. 3, they have another issue we will talk about in terms of emotion. So that's for 2, to be grounded in knowing who they are is already lovable. Okay, then 3. 3, the voice, I call it efficient voice. Efficient voice. Very efficient. You don't hear emotions. They also try to suppress the emotions because emotion will get in the way of their efficiency. So type 3's voice is also very performing voice, very performing. Okay, what kind of voice do you want? You want a motivational voice. Let me give you a motivational voice. So that's how my clients did. I said, okay, here you need to sound determined. Then they started to see, okay, who sound determined? Then I'm going to speak with that voice. So what voice you want, they will perform it to you. So you can also call it a performer voice. And of course, we know type 3, the name can also be, we give it also performer, right? Achiever, performer. So what voice you want, I will give it to you without knowing how I really feel. So for my type 3 clients, I said, how do, when you are feeling determined, how would you sound like? They can remember. That's why that we say for type 3s, one of the things we want to work on is authenticity, is how you are feeling in terms of voice. When was the last time you felt determined? When you felt determined, how was it like? How did you sound like? So it's really not, okay, this is the determined voice. This is the motivational voice. No, how do you feel? For type 3s, it's not easy. And that's why I recommend not just for type 3s, but also for all types who have challenge to have an expressive voice, is to have a emotion book or book of emotions. So you're going to record your emotions. Okay, so today my strongest emotion I experienced is, let's say, determination. So write down determination and then write down the incidents that are related to this emotion. Give the incident or give the experience a name. And not only that, the next thing, which is very important, a lot of people often forget and a lot of people always overlook. So emotions are being expressed and showing up in your body. For example, when you are angry, where was it in your body? When you are joyful, where was it in your body? When you are terrified, where was it in your body? Some of my clients said, it's here. I said, you're still in your head. It must be below your head. Look for where it is below your head. It could even be here, but it must be below your head. We know actually, for example, for fear, it's stomach, right? That's why we said when we are nervous, there's butterflies in the stomach. Fear is in the stomach. That's why I noticed for a lot of my 6 clients and friends, they all have stomach-related issues. So a very good friend of mine in my very first job out of college, she's a type 6. After years of reflection, I realized she's a 6. And I remember very clearly, she's always asking for some leaves. And every time when she asks for leaves, the sick leaf is always stomach-related. So that's why you see the fear for 6S is not just in the head, it's in the body. All emotions are in the body. So for me, there was one time I experienced joy. And the feeling in my body was so vivid. And then I remembered. So whenever I want to have joy, I just activate my body to activate emotion. She was that I went to the island where we have the Universal Studio. The moment that I touched my feet touched the island, there was Cuban music playing. And the Cuban music just makes you feel joyful. I started to feel there's something dancing on my chest. I said, oh, this is a very new feeling. I need to remember. So remember the emotions in your body so that the next time when type 3s, you want to experience and express authentic feelings, activate your body. Not looking at, okay, what emotion people want. That's why sometimes I kind of think of this, what was that? The late night infomercial voice. It's very type 3 voice. Look at our product. Now, dial the number here. That's very infomercial voice. So that's the key point for type 3. We don't want to have a performer voice. We want you to develop an authentically expressed voice. And then, of course, for type 3, if they haven't developed, they do tend to speak fast. So then some of my clients said, oh, before I was even faster, like a fast train, bullet train. Okay, so that's for 3s. Then we go to the next one for the heart center, which is type 4 voice. Type 4 voice. Type 4 voice is, if you listen to the interviews of Michael Jackson. So I was preparing the workshop on voice and Enneagram. I wanted to have different examples. So I Googled some videos of Michael Jackson. And someone was interviewing him saying that, oh, Michael, you have a new album just came out. How do you feel? Rejuvenated. That was how he answered. First, he took a sigh. After the sigh, rejuvenated. So sighing is type 4's friend. Type 4s, they tend to sigh a lot. And sighing also actually tells you how 4s tend to project their voice, which is they use more breath than they breathe in. Type 4s tend to breathe out more than they breathe in. That's why sometimes they always sound like they're tired. Of course you're tired because you breathe out more. Breath is the life force. If you don't have enough breath, you don't have enough life force. Breathe in more, breathe less, breathe out less. So that's why for type 4, the voice, the name I gave is breathless voice. Breathless voice. Okay. And then because you're breathing out too much, so for type 4s, when they're speaking, they sound like sighing. This is actually how I teach my type 5 clients to practice. I said, why don't you breathe out more? Type 5, you will see very soon, they don't breathe out. That's why type 5, they need to learn from type 4s. Type 4s breathe out less. So relatively speaking, sometimes you can tell probably tell 4s, especially if they're not evolved enough yet. Type 4's voice, they will stand out because of the breathlessness. And then we know type 4s, they are having disappointment, right? They have this chronic disappointment. Of course, when you're disappointed, you will be breathing out more, right? So then it is showing up in the voice. Even envy is showing up in the voice. So envy, how do we, every one of us, we can get envious at times. When we are getting envious, you may notice, what's so good about him? This is when you're showing up, envy showing up in the voice. How did it show up? Show up a little bit nasal. So that's why, to reduce this nasality, we want to relax a little bit. So the key thing is, for fours, use less breath. Manage your breath in balance. And then for fours, we know the one of the development directions is equanimity, right? Equanimity is that you stay still no matter what is happening in you. More here for you, more here. So the next time for fours, observe yourself speak. Observe yourself speak and then hear yourself. And better yet, record yourself. Same as observing your emotions, right? When there are emotions going on, you just jump out and observe your emotion and see, okay, this emotion is coming. Okay, coming, I'm experiencing. And now I see it leaving me. So you become the observer. Observe everything that's happening in you, including your voice. So that's for fours. And also for fours, develop the whole spectrum of emotions. Emotion is not just this side, which is melancholy. There's also determination. There's power. So develop the whole spectrum. Even develop fear, develop joy. Observe where your joy is. For me, it's here. So that's for fours. Okay, so let's do a quick exercise on fours. Feel how fours are speaking. Let's say I feel excited in fourth way of speaking. So we relax. And then say, I feel excited. You probably would laugh as well. Then you realize, I'm not feeling excited. So then you see, if you're speaking in this way all the time, you're also going to feel exhausted because you're losing too much oxygen. The body is lacking life force. Okay, so before we move on to 5, 6, 7, we also have a prayer for 2, 3, 4s. So again, relax. Let's feel rejuvenated. And a very short one, you can close your eyes. Dear God, dear universe, please remove the cloud in me so I can see clearly who I am and accept who I am. Please guide me to see myself through your eyes so I can see who I am is lovable and loved. Amen. Okay. So now quickly go to 5, 6, 7. As we mentioned, there are disconnected voice. It's moving up now. Just now it was in the heart. Before that in the gut. Now it's in the head. So there is a commonality for 5, 6, 7. The voice is monotone. Yes, even for 7s. So when the voice is purely from the logic, it is going to be monotone because the logic brain, left brain, which is black and white, there's no color. So for 5, I call it the digital voice. That's easier to understand. Digital voice. It's a more in-depth name is withheld voice. Withheld voice. So you know that five's passion, avarice. Avarice is withholding. Withholding resources, energy, time. Withholding breath as well. A lot of type 5 clients came to me saying that, oh, people said to me that I speak with a very soft voice. This is actually not really a soft voice when I'm hearing. This is how they speak. What is the problem with this voice? When you are hearing me speaking that way, after a while, you will feel breathless. So that's a voice withholding. That's why for some type 5 clients, they said, other people said I sound very aloof. Yes, because if you're speaking in this way, it sounds like you don't want to talk to people, right? Probably for 5s, it is. I don't want to talk to you. Just quickly finish what you want to say and get lost. And it is showing up in the voice. So you're withholding. You're withholding life energy. For 5s, the common problem when they're speaking is that they take a breath in, but they never use the breath. They're just going to hold their breath and talk to you until you get lost. Then they may start to breathe. Or they have to speak long, and then they will feel that, okay, I cannot continue anymore. They will feel breathless. So that's type 5 voice, this digital withheld voice. And then the problem is, it sounds like it's soft. Sounds like it's soft. You have challenge projecting the voice. 5s have challenge projecting the voice. And of course, it's very challenging for them to express emotions. The voice is also sound distant. So that's 5's voices. So how do we help them? One, of course, they need to learn how to breathe properly. So all 5, 6, 7, they need to learn breathe properly, to breathe properly. When they breathe properly, they can breathe more deeply to the body, to the bottom of the lungs. They start to engage the body. Actually breathing, not only breathing, but voice work, real voice work, working on the body is very good for 5, 6, 7s to pull them down from the head to the body, to stay more grounded. So that's for all 5, 6, 7s. They need to learn proper breathing to be more grounded in the body. And also, all of them, they need to learn how to use the proper breath to project the voice. For 5s, again, I mentioned that they need to record their emotions, all 5, 6, 7s. Because when I demonstrate the voice, I said, I can answer in one word, victory, to convey determination. Then my 5 clients will be telling me, I notice here, your volume is stronger. Your pitch is lower. I said, you're focusing on the techniques. So they're focusing on the techniques. When you only focus on the technique, your voice will not sound congruent, authentic. So they need to work on their emotion. Remember the emotion, the feeling in the body. If they are sexual types, it will be a little bit easier. Sexual types, they have this energy. And also if they have a wing 4, it will also relatively easier. If they don't, then we can ask them to borrow some type A's energy. So that's the different ways I have used to help type 5 clients. But it's not easy. And interestingly, I have a lot of type 5 clients. I think probably because number 1 is they number 2, they will tell me, they said, I'm the expert in the room. I'm the expert, they need to listen to me. But as I speak, I notice they're dozing off. So that's many of the reasons that type 5s, they realized they needed to work on a voice. Okay, moving on. Type 6 and 7. Type 6 is trembling voice. Trembling voice. When you're nervous, you may have noticed your voice will be trembling, right? That's the extreme case, can happen to everyone. But for 6s, you will always hear this trembling quality in their voice. So even when I was listening to the tapes, in the early days, when I was listening to the tapes by Helen Palmer, I was hearing this trembling quality in the voice. You can listen to some of her tapes. And also our beloved Tom Condon. When I was attending his workshops, I was still feeling a little bit trembling in the quality in the voice. I love both teachers, but they're good examples. We shall have them sacrificed for our study. So that's the type 6s. You can hear a little bit trembling quality. The same way of developing grounded, learn breath, emotional book. The other thing about type 6s is there's uncertainty in the voice. So they also need to work on the ending of the sentence needs to go down. Not only that, but also the voice itself needs to go down, come from the body, so that they sound more certain, more sure. Okay. Lastly, type 7, the floating voice. That's the name, the floating voice. So it's always looking at what's the next thing, what's the next option, what's the next adventure. You're always floating there, and it shows up in the voice. So whenever I listen to the 7's voice, it's always here. It's not coming down. So then we have to learn the proper breathing, learn to move the voice to the body to ground them. The other thing is that I mentioned type 7's voice is also monotone because it's limited. It's either in the joy range. If it's always joyful, imagine if you're listening to an orchestra, it's always very, very fast, very happy. How would you feel? 7s maybe, okay, that's my music. But for the other types, they may feel tired. And also that will not be a masterpiece. So how to make a masterpiece is you have the whole range of emotions. So that's what I recommend 7s to consider, which is to make your life a masterpiece. Fully experience the other emotions. Because if you don't experience the other emotions, you're also not living your life. You're only living part of your life. So that's a very fast overview of all the types. And then my time is up. So we do have a quick prayer for the 7s actually. But
Please give the prayer.
Okay, sure. Let's do a quick relax. Then you can close your eyes. Dear God, dear universe, please wash away the anxiety in my mind. Help me surrender the chatters in my head. Center me in your certainty and security, and know that's who I am. Amen.
Amen. Wow, Cynthia, I don't know what else to say more than wow. Such great insight and being able to recognize through voice and through some of the body that you've showed us is such a great tool for us as practitioners. Did you mention that you had a sheet that's going to give all of this insight and to each type?
Yes, so I will give all of you that. At the same time, because it's very quick, so you can also go to here, this link.
Okay.
I have a longer version of webinar. So I did 2 webinars. One is for those who didn't know Enneagram, so I talked about Enneagram. The other one is webinar 2 is I think it's 1.5 hours or maybe 1 hour. Couldn't remember, but that one probably 1.5 hours. That one is longer, a much longer version. And
Excellent.
then, so go to this link. And then, of course, you can find me here. Let me show you what I was using just now. So this is what you guys are going to get. This one. So I'll send this one to all of you. 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3. So this one I'll send to the committee, and then they will share this one with you guys.
Well, thank you so much again, Cynthia. Valuable information.